Welcome to the McStinky Show. I'm McStinky, this is my show, and I have a question. If the Nintendo Switch was so good, where's the Nintendo Switch 2? Oh. Yes, the hotly anticipated sequel to the third best-selling console of all time has finally been released, and I have one. So, after about a month of having it, I have a couple of thoughts on the experiences I have experienced on it. That's what the video is about. I'm talking about it. Okay, cut to the intro now. You haven't cut yet. Cut to the intro right now. Right.
When you decide to step up to this kind of play, this kind of fun.
Bully! What's up, regular size man? Hey, man.
The Nintendo Switch 2 was announced on January 16th, 2025, with a relatively sudden reveal. The trailer shows a few things, mostly the design of the console. It's bigger. The Joy-Cons are bigger, and they're also magnets. Or something. Something's magnets in there. Fucking magnets, how do they work? A new button that's super mysterious and totally doesn't have a C on it, as seen in multiple leaked 3D models and designs for the console, shared around repeatedly throughout the past few months. Wow. We also very briefly see what seems to be the new Mario Kart game, featuring what looked like more than the average racer count, and maybe even some new designs for characters. But more on that in a couple months, because the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is coming on April 2nd, baby. On April 2nd, Nintendo released said Direct, a full presentation of the new console, and some new hardware for it. Notably, we get some details on the fancy mechanics of the console. It does, in fact, use magnets for the Joy-Cons instead of the Switch 1's rail system. The Joy-Cons also now include a mouse inside each of them. What? I'm sorry, what? What, they don't? Oh. I'm being told that they function as mice, not that they contain living mice. Well, that's a bummer. The system is far more powerful with HDR functionality, FPS up to 120, a 1080 display with up to 4K when docked. It's a gamer's miracle, says me, who does not own a 4K television. They also finally showed off the new button, the Game Chat button. It opens Game Chat. What's a Game Chat? Picture a Discord voice chat, but only for the Switch 2. Also, you can buy a camera and be on the screen. Wow, I sure can't wait to use this with all my friends who own a Switch 2. They also showed off a couple games that I'm gonna loop back around to, but more importantly, Elden Ring! Look at it go! Look at all those rings! I bet at least one of them is Elden. Look, I'm not gonna buy Elden Ring for the Switch 2. I would say my thoughts on Elden Ring, but every time I do, I feel the sensation of someone piercing my voodoo doll with a particularly sharpened needle, so I won't speak further. Night Rain's pretty cool, though. Some more games shown were ports of Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, and Hitman World of Assassination, as well as Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which will feature some new content. We get a trailer for a new Hyrule Warriors game set during the events of Tears of the Kingdom. Honestly, some really good announcements, and oh, that's a Gamecube. Okay, well, that was pretty cool. I wonder what else they got up there. Say, oh, okay, that's Deltarune. That's a Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 release date announcement coming on the day of launch. Okay, cool, I guess. And then some other stuff, and a sizzle reel with, oh my god! Ridge Racer? Okay, genuinely, it's wild that there's just a 5-second clip of Silk Song with a 2025 release window beside it after the massive gap of time since the last we've heard of Team Cherry, and 3 months later, there still isn't a proper release date. Guys, the game isn't fucking real. Then, Nintendo drops a bombshell. From Software is developing a new game, The Duskbloods, as a Switch 2 exclusive. This is fairly crazy considering the fact that, you know, it's a From Software game exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2. Finally, ending off the Direct, we get both confirmation of Kirby Air Riders, a new title directed by Kirby's father, Masahiro Sakurai, in his first directorial lead on a Kirby game since the original Kirby Air Ride, and finally, Donkey Kong Bonanza, the new 3D DK game developed in-house by Nintendo, releasing July 17th. Overall, it was a good presentation, really helped sell the idea of the new console, though I will say it was weird that there wasn't any note about the price. So, I was originally gonna do an extended bit where I, stood on a soapbox about how it is bad that it costs this much, but I didn't really have a way to pivot back into the funny YouTube video after that, so imagine I said something highly intellectual about the economy and how it relates to the Mario. Okay, thanks. Anyways, with the morose part of the video now done, let's learn more about the actual hardware. If only there was an easy way to do that. Oh no.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In an interview with Reggie Fils-Aimé, former president of Nintendo of America, he tells the story of how he fought with Nintendo higher-ups to convince them to release Wii Sports as a pack-in with the Wii at launch.
Again, the goal was, we wanted this system to be attractive not only to the most active players, but to new players and to bring them into the video gaming experience. And we saw Wii Sports as the way to be able to do that because each of these sports made great use of the Wii Remote. Each sport was known by a global population, right? People, and my recommendation was that we pack Wii Sports in with the hardware.
A notable line in that discussion was uttered by Shigeru Miyamoto, Mario's dad.
When I first made this suggestion, Mr. Miyamoto said, Reggie, Nintendo does not give away software for free. You don't understand how hard our developers work to create compelling content like this.
Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is 15 Canadian dollars. Okay, there's more than that to say. Welcome Tour is a tour through the mechanics of the Switch 2. The HD rumble, the mouse, the magnets, etc. It's all very simple, though there are a few fun little mini-games to play. I mostly got it out of curiosity. Morbid curiosity. 15 Canadian dollars. Oh well, I bought it. May as well play it. Big shock. The Switch 2 system has a lot of neat internal mechanics. If you're interested in learning about that sort of thing, which I am, you'll love Switch 2 Welcome Tour. 15 Canadian dollars. Thanks to Welcome Tour, I can explore that fascination with ease. For example, did you know? The Nintendo Switch 2's Joy-Cons use magnets to connect to the system? While the Switch 1 used a rail system that you slid your Joy-Cons into to connect it to the console proper, the Joy-Con 2 uses magnets. But how do they connect? Well, the Joy-Con 2 has magnetic parts right there, the SL and SR buttons. They're actually made of metal, just painted to look like the rest of that part of the controller. That is... That was the core of the game. That was basically piracy. Learn about a mechanic, solve a quiz, play a minigame, shake the Joy-Cons and feel the balls inside. It's like maracas. It is genuinely, it's very fun to shake the Joy-Cons and feel them bounce around like maracas. They really do just feel like maracas. It's crazy. Is it worth 15 Canadian dollars? I'll answer that question with a question. Are you really that interested in magnets?
Down with Zelda from the very start. I got the heart and smarts to play the part. Down with Zelda. Creeping through with an overhead view, cause a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, so I stay on track.
The Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade packs are upgrades of Switch 1 titles that seek to improve performance and add new mechanics to the game. Currently, the only ones we have are ones for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They run at a smooth 60 frames per second in an almost jarring fashion after so many years. They also added some cool features available through a companion service through the NSO app on mobile. You get a GPS to help you find things you haven't found yet, voice memos that add some more world building.
The ruins of Mabe Village. It was the farm closest to the castle, and I would often visit it incognito. They always shared far more food than I could possibly eat, and I remember that they treated their animals like members of their family. I imagine no one here fled alone when the time came.
And a few others. I can't really talk about the quality of the other 4 upgrades because they aren't out yet. This section is very short. Well, actually I guess there is one more I can talk about. You see, some non-Nintendo games also got upgrades of sorts, and one of them was Fortnite, baby! I have only played Fortnite on PC with a mouse and keyboard, so playing it on the Switch 2 with a controller was a very new experience. I didn't win, I ended up smack dab in the middle of a boss fight and died. However, I do want to talk about maybe the funniest thing I have ever seen in Fortnite, maybe the top 10 funniest thing I have ever seen in a game. At the beginning of the match, I was wandering around looking for equipment when all of a sudden I heard the sound of gunfire. Going over to inspect, I found 2 players going at it, and they weren't good at going at it. These 2 were standing point blank to each other, firing like their lives depended on it. Fortunately for them, their lives did not depend on it. They were living as well firing as they would with their guns on the floor. I found myself sitting in adoration, just fascinated by their play. Did they think they were playing well? Did they think this was a close fight? Was one of them gonna disengage? Were they just gonna keep doing this until they ran out of ammo? I then found myself moving closer, making sure not to draw much attention, but they didn't really seem to notice. I stood there, I watched them, they definitely saw me, but they were just locked into each other. Suddenly, gunfire from the left, I turn and see a character gunning for me, and they were missing almost every shot. They ran right up to me, and I blasted them. They were down immediately, and I just went back to watching, and yeah, still locked in. There was a firefight literal feet away from them, but they were just too tunnel visioned on each other to notice. I kept watching, like a hunter watching a majestic beast. Then I remembered I was playing a video game where you had to be the last one surviving. I got tired of waiting. I just ran up to one of them, shotgunning it point blank, and filled Todoroki with hot lead right after. Why did I tell you that story? Well, duh. It was so I could distract you from the fact I had nothing to say about the upgrade packs. Moving on.
And this is what I like to call the Nintendo
The Nintendo Gamecube originally launched in 2001 and was widely lauded. Kind of. Despite poor sales during its existence, posthumously the system has been beloved by fans and critics. The many titles released for it considered among the best of the Nintendo library. Mario Kart Double Dash, Wario World, Metroid Prime, Mario Sunshine, Wind Waker, Pikmin, and so many others. However, for a long while, I was under the suspicion that the only way the GameCube games could get onto a modern Nintendo console would be through single title releases like Pikmin or Metroid Prime Remaster or the Thousand Year Door remake. I mean, there was no way they could do a collection. The file sizes were massive in comparison to the others. Wind Waker alone is almost as big as the entirety of the N64 collection. Then I was proven wrong. This happens a lot, I'm very cocky, but this is one of the few times where I was happy to be wrong. The Gamecube collection is... Come on, do I have to explain it? It's in the name. Within the collection lies, as of right now, 4 games, with more on the way. These 4 games are pretty good picks for a starting collection with Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Mario Strikers, and Soul Calibur 2. And to play them in the most accurate form possible, we get the GameCube wireless controller. Having never seen a GameCube controller in person, getting one in my hands was pretty neat. The sticks feel very nice and the L and R buttons have a good bit of resistance to them. Overall, it feels really good to hold. Better than I thought. Kind of like the N64 controller, actually. Well, I should stop rambling about the controller and actually play the games. Starting with, F-Zero GX is fast. Very fast. Incredibly fast. Ripping down the track, slamming against other racers and the walls, boosting, weaving, drifting, trying your hardest not to... F-Zero GX is fast, and it's insanely fun. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is one of those games I've always heard about. It's one of the best Zelda games, one of the best Nintendo games, and with only about 15 or so minutes of it, I can definitely see why. The world is beautiful, the cel shading effect aging incredibly well, the music is whimsical, the characters are charming. Unfortunately, I haven't put much time into it because I've been busy making this video, but once this is out, I'm definitely hopping back in. Super Mario Strikers and Soul Calibur are the ones I have the least time with so far, so real quick. I played as Daisy and lost 3-0 twice to DK, then I switched to DK and lost 3-1 to Daisy. In Soul Calibur 2, I played as Link, won my first fight, and then stopped playing because I no longer had anything to prove there. I'm able to play the fighting game. That's all I need. The GameCube collection is small right now, but just knowing what's coming soon, I am more than happy to wait a bit. Speaking of waiting... At some point in the near future, I'll be making a full Deltarune video. Well, a video detailing chapters 1 to 4. I'm not gonna go into depth here. All the words I want to say will make more sense there, but for now, I will say this. Unless Toby Fox and his incredibly talented staff somehow miss the mark, trip up in the last half, Deltarune has the capacity to be cemented as one of the best RPGs of all time. Maybe one of the best games, period. It's a game that masters the blend of funny, bittersweet, and heartfelt in a way very few titles have in the past, and it pulls it off so well, it's scary. Also, Chapter 4 contains the best usage of the Joy-Con mouse mechanic of all of the games available on the console's launch. Speaking of games at the Switch 2 launch, it's finally time to talk about it. The Switch 2's premier racing title, the one we've all been waiting for, in 3, 2, 1...
Game is powered by Namco. It's Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer. Remember that one? All right.
The classic Namco arcade game. Everybody loves it. Insert your credit, pick the song, and let's get ridging. And racing. Okay, so when I bought it, I was under the impression that there'd be more than one track, and that I would have been able to pick which car I wanted. Or, Ridge Racer is very fun. I like it. Maybe not a $20 game, but it's fun. Okay, time for the real main event. Ridge Racer 64, the Nintendo 64 release of Ridge Racer, with more tracks, and cars, and music. It's Ridge Racer, but better. The best game of the year, every year. Ridge Racer 64. Oh yeah, also some guy named Mario had a game that came out on the release date of the Switch 2. I guess I should probably give that one a shot as well.
Banana. Oh, hey, Taco Bell. Ooh, give me some of that. 64.
Mario Kart World is, well, it's Mario Kart. Big shock. But it's certainly Mario Kart at its largest. Well, Mario Kart 8 had a good amount of stuff in it. I guess it's Mario Kart at its most open. A large open landmass with cities, truck stops, and seaside warehouses. The tracks find themselves wedged into this open world, seamlessly connecting between them and the open roaming map. And, to show just how connected they are, the game's races follow a new style. In the Grand Prix, your first race is the usual fare. 3 laps around a track, try to get to first. But from the second course onward, the race expands. Beginning from a rolling start.
Oh, like Ridge Racer. See guys, Ridge Racer, it's the best racing game ever. There's ridges, there's racers, it's so fucking good.
Gee, can't believe Nintendo stole Ridge Racer's whole flow. Nintendo, more like unoriginal Tendo. Beginning from a rolling start, you gotta drive down the highway, through the woods, down through the LA River. The tracks are all great, real fun courses that really help sell the World Tour theming of the game. Koopa Troopa Beach is an EDM party, Cheep Cheep Falls is a race through a temple, DK Spaceport sees you climbing a space shuttle launch zone, being halted by a large security droid. Mario Kart Circuit feels like a dirt road race off Route 66. The courses ooze with flair and style, and they all connect from one another so well you could even hypothetically race from one part of the map to the next in a race royale that slowly whittles down the racer count from 24 to 4. Oh wait, they did do. Knockout Tour is the big new mode of the game, pitting 24 racers in a race to the end as you try to survive to the top 4, each checkpoint knocking another 4 racers out of the race. Easily my favorite mode in the game. The sheer anxiety you get as you inch ever closer to the next checkpoint, hoping that you make it, knowing that every other racer is out to get you just as much as you're out to get them. It's especially fun in online mode, because sure, the CPUs are designed with a hunger for victory, but it's a lot more fun when you're racing against real blood-craving animals who see you as less of a person and more of an obstruction. I have yet to win an online Knockout Tour race as of writing, but damn it if I'm not having fun. And when I need a break from the terror that is online play, I can take a solo cruise around the world while listening to some very good tunes. In a pre-release interview with lead composer Atsuko Asahi, she revealed the free roam section of Mario Kart World would contain a wide variety of songs. These songs, which reach into the triple digits in count, are all new compositions. Remakes of classic tracks, not just for Mario Kart, but from the entire Mario franchise. In Mario Kart 8, the score's vibe was pretty simple. Big band, jazz fusion, lots of brass and string, bombastic and exciting. But World's score, it varies. Some tracks follow that big band style, getting you excited to race down the highway. But some are softer songs to play while traveling through the city for an alleyway bite to eat. A bouncing EDM track to party to on the beach. A soft jazz ballad while relaxing in the snowy mountains. And really, that encapsulates the whole vibe of the game. A true world tour. You get to see all corners of this map, the seas, the cities, the mountains, the jungles. I found myself just kind of driving, looking around the world, enjoying the sights and sounds. And the sights are pretty darn good. And by that I mean the character designs. They're good. The character designs, pretty cool. When I first saw the designs for the roster, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, they made me feel something, a sort of nostalgia. The designs are highly evocative of the art of Yoichi Kotabe and Shigehisa Nakue. These softer, rounder, cuter designs. I've always loved this style, and seeing it here in full 3D motion, it's wonderful. But with all this wonder, it feels like something's missing. A key component of the Mario Kart experience is just not there. But once you finish all the Grand Prix, you unlock it, the Special Cup, and with it, Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road. My first experience with Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road was magical. Starting from Peach Stadium, you drive straight. Just a straight line from the castle into the water. Riding along a flotation device as a large beam of light looms in the distance. All the while, the music rises and rises as you enter the funnel, and Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road is a celebration. It evokes some of the best Rainbow Roads of the past, all in one massive 4-segment track. The first section is grand, emblematic of Wii Rainbow Road. Before you soar into the clouds, watched by Lumas as you surf through a river coated in stardust. As you see a train, similar to the one from N64's Rainbow Road, before rocketing out into the vacuum of space, floating towards a satellite, its design inspired by the classic Game & Watch, the inside similar to 3DS's Rainbow Road, as you twist and turn around thwomps a la Super Mario Kart. Before finally returning to the road, a final cruise which smells of N64 Rainbow Road, complete with the train returning, now filled with characters and objects from throughout the other courses of the Grand Prix, as the music reaches its true peak, signaling the end of the race, the end of Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road feels like a love letter, not just to this game, but to Mario Kart as a whole. Rainbow Road N64 is always going to be my favorite, but I think this might be the best Rainbow Road. Maybe it's too soon to call, maybe it's recency bias, but I don't care. It's fantastic the whole way through. Mario Kart World is fantastic. While I still love Mario Kart 8, I think that World has breathed some new life into the game for me. It feels wonderful to play, looks gorgeous, sounds amazing, and is a game I find myself going back to over and over again. But Toad's Turnpike isn't in it, so it's a 0 out of 10. Sorry, Nintendo. Nintendo, more like, didn't put Toad's Turnpike into the game, Tendo. Am I right? Like and subscribe. The Nintendo Switch 2. The next generation of Nintendo's hardware and software. While it's only just started, I feel like this era is gonna be a good one. I'm looking forward to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Looking forward to playing all the classic GameCube games, looking forward to experiencing Toby Fox's true masterpiece as it releases, and looking forward to never using Game Chat, because I'm the only person in my friend group who owns a Switch 2. Now if you'd excuse me, I have to go and play some good video games. Ridge Racer 64. Hell yeah. Yeah, this was the McStinky Show. I've been McStinky, this was my show, and I'll see you later. Have a good one.